Welcome to the finals of the Baja Bouncer Invitational. And you know my name, it's Aaron Tate.
Hey everybody, this is Richard Gere. Now Aaron's going to begin by introducing the four competitors.
You're looking at Arlo from Arlo Racing in Connecticut. He was the number one seed in qualifying. Now, you'll notice he has a rather stiff suspension, but the weight is low, the tires are smaller, and his strategy is to stay low and go fast.
I don't like that guy jumping all over their trucks just to show the suspension.
Now, from Kansas is Isley with ICT Diecast Racing League. Isley's truck has a wonderful modified suspension. There's some kind of fishing wire or something. He has weight down low. He's not the fastest, but his strategy is consistency. Next up, we have Sneaky Bob with Vapor Racing from Michigan, and Sneaky Bob was the fifth fastest qualifier. He also has a flexible design suspension, but when our gorilla picks up the truck and shakes it, we do hear a little bit of rattling. He has weight down low. Hopefully everything will hold together. And finally, from the UK, that is Essex County, are the Essex Boys, and Strike is the driver. It appears they have a stock suspension, but this truck is qualified number 7 in the time trials. Oh, and wow, the guy jumping on the truck just smacked his face. That's embarrassing. Let's get to racing. Are you tracking?
Race fans, we started with 32 Baja Bouncers in this invitational. You're looking at the final 4. Here they are in their lane assignments, and the first race is just about to begin. There go the yellow lights. We've got a green light and a great start by Isley. Now, look at Arlo just pull out in the lead, and Strike has pulled up now, first down the joker lane. Drifting looks good as Isley does well. Now, Arlo's turned around, but he had a good drift. He does tend to overdrift, so that was nice to see him recover. Moving on down, look at Isley just pour it on as he extends the lead around the big U. Strike is in second. It looks like Arlo's in third, and now, a crash, but he's punched through. And I'm not sure if Sneaky Bob is finished.
Well, once again, our timer crew fell asleep. The timer wasn't even on. Nicely done by both of those drivers. Take a look at how Isley takes the inside line. He was being matched in speed by Arlo, but both of them are over the train jump early and have the lead. Take a look, though, at watch Strike come through and take the left side of the runway because he's got the speed. He's pointed forward, and he gets past Arlo when they enter the big U. Isley turns around, but the backup timer says he got a low 24-second time. Now, Sneaky Bob sneaks past the finished line front edge, and the rules here at Gravity Throttle Racing are you get a score if you cross the front edge of the vertical plane on the finish line.
Great, thank you, Aaron. All right, so this is race 2, and Isley, who is now on the outside, has the lead. We are 7 more races away from determining who our winner is going to be, and all of them are jumping over the creek jump quite well, but Strike pulls out in the lead on the inside line, hits and spins around it. Oh my goodness, look at that great drift by Isley. That's going to bring him up near the front, and we don't see the others. There comes Arlo. Oh, wow, there's some fighting going on back there, and it looks like Isley lost 2 spots. Strike gets spun around. Now he's coming around the big U, and down the scrambler he will take first. Arlo in second. There goes Sneaky Bob in third. 4th place goes to Isley.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. All 4 trucks have finished the race once again with some great drifting, but you gotta stop and just look at the control Isley is displaying. Now, Arlo does take advantage. We'll see that in a moment, but feast your eyes on some incredible drifting. However, coming out onto runway 3 is when we see Isley have some trouble. It was a great job by Sneaky Bob to also avoid the accident. And down the scrambler they go. They're all staying on their right side up. It is Strike with the lead with 7. Isley and Arlo have 5.
And race fans, if you're new to the channel, we want you to know that the cars are going to be rotating through all the lanes twice. This is the 3rd race, and now moving to the outside is Strike. As we see Isley on the inside, great start by Sneaky Bob in the catbird seat, and he's got the lead, and something has happened to Arlo. He got stuck in the snow, and Sneaky Bob didn't drift at all, making you wonder what is going on inside that front suspension, but a nice little helpful tap from Strike leaves him in the lead, and now he can drive backwards and see exactly what is happening to everybody behind him. I have no idea why the driver chooses to do that, but he takes first. 2nd place will go to Strike, and 3rd goes to Isley.
From the beginning of the race, in each race, they have to navigate over a 43-foot jump. And these trucks and these drivers have shown themselves to be well qualified for the finals. But it's that little jump that Arlo gets stuck on. And now we see what happened there as Sneaky Bob just decided to skip the drift. And Strike made sure he stayed on track. Hey Richard, do you remember when you told us Sneaky Bob was very consistent in drifting during the semifinals?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, he's going to have to get his act together if he's going to keep up with the others. Strike is in the lead with 10.
Race fans, this is the race before the halftime begins. Now, Sneaky Bob, we were just talking about, he's on the outside, and Arlo's right next to him. Let's keep our eyes on Sneaky Bob, as we'll hopefully see a better drift from him. Oh, and Arlo got snagged in the snow again. He's behind. And okay, Sneaky Bob does the wall ride, and that puts him ahead. That's not a bad idea if you're struggling into drifting. He holds the lead. Here comes Isley down runway 3, and he's gaining on him. Out of the Joker lane he comes, and Strike is in third. But Sneaky Bob holds it together. He takes first. Isley is in second place, and Strike takes third.
Let's turn our attention once again to the catbird seat and Arlo, number 69. You'll see him have a rough time over that small jump. With his lack of suspension, any slight misstep and his truck has to absorb it all. In this case, he loses momentum and slides out on the Mesa Butte. But for Sneaky Bob, it's another 4-point first-place finish that he banks as he stays ahead of Isley and Strike, even down the scrambler. He's got 11 points, Isley has 10, and Strike leads with 12.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special surprise for halftime, a sneak peek. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed that sneak peek. Races will be announced sometime soon. We can't give an exact date. Meanwhile, let's go to race 5, and they are already off and running. Well, I can tell you this, the outside lanes have a chance for extra points over the train. The first one to jump the train gets 2 points, the second one gets 1, and if they miss the train, it's 0, and oh my goodness, what a rough break for both Isley and Arlo, as they're going to miss the train and not collect any points. But meanwhile, take a look at Strike, as he has the lead over Sneaky Bob, and they came from the Joker lane. Again, all the trucks will rotate through all the lanes, and Strike navigates down the scrambler no problem for a first place.
Let's begin here at the Mesa Butte, where Isley and Arlo start with some good drifting, but then Isley gets his back end out of control and Arlo is stuck behind. Watch here, Isley takes a very shallow angle on the inside lane, and the back end hits the wall and pops out.
Well, you know, Aaron, if I were Arlo, I wouldn't want to be behind anybody else but Isley on the drift section.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Richard. And unfortunately for Arlo, a lot of tough breaks, and then this one time he has a good drift. He's stuck behind with only 5 still. You'll see 2 zeros for Arlo and Isley as neither of them finished or jumped the train. And Strike leads with 16.
Strike is now in the catbird seat, and his first of 2 attempts to collect extra points over the train. He is sitting in a good position. Isley's on his outside. His second attempt is coming up. Oh my goodness, and Strike has slid off in the snow. It's Sneaky Bob with the lead down the Joker lane, and look at that great drift by Isley. Maybe with that good drift from the outside lane, he'll hold the lead. And he comes around. Here comes Sneaky Bob. A little tap. And now they're fighting down runway 3 and around the Big U. Isley comes out in the lead. He's coming down the scrambler and will finish in first. And wow, that was close for second. I think Sneaky Bob got it.
Oh, well, quite a race there. We're going to slow things down on the instant replay. And watch this. Are you tracking? Both Arlo and Strike come in cockeyed. Now, Strike ends up stuck, but Arlo is able to continue, although he is behind Sneaky Bob. Look at that gorgeous drift by Isley, and 2 points for going over the train. He is first onto runway 3, but is challenged by Sneaky Bob. And Sneaky Bob is very aggressive, making their way around the Big U. Isley manages to get ahead. This gives Isley 6 more points for the first place finish and 2 points over the train. He is now in a tie with Strike, and Sneaky Bob leads with 17.
Things are getting very tight, race fans. For 3 of the drivers, it's unfortunate what's happening to Arlo, who is in lane 2 right now. Sneaky Bob has the catbird seat. He's in lane 3, the first of 2 opportunities to jump over the train. And oh, wow, what a crazy accident. As we see Strike here come from the outside. He's drifting around. I do see Sneaky Bob in the back, but not sure if he made it much further. And Isley has the lead. On to runway 3, he is first. He's managed to have a very good showing here near the end, which is exactly what Isley wants. And he comes through the finish line. Oh, that's a nice time. Just above 24 seconds. Strike is going to take second.
Are you tracking? Take a look here at the instant replay and watch Arlo just jump right over into Sneaky Bob's lane. And for that costly offense, he was given a flip and a twirl. Now, Sneaky Bob is behind, and that's a nice drift by Strike, but Sneaky Bob is not showing any signs of drifting. It's very unfortunate for him in this situation, as he was very consistent in the semifinals and in the quarterfinals, leaving these 2 drivers to finish first and second. And we'll tally up the scores here as we draw the curtain, because we don't want to give too much away as to what is going on behind the scenes. And look here, as Strike has the lead after a second place finish and 2 extra points over the train.
There is 1 race that remains. Race fans, Sneaky Bob is the number 2 seed in this race. He's on the outside with extra point opportunities over the train. Keep your eyes on Isley and Strike on the inside. Unfortunately, Arlo is not able to keep up or catch up. And now Sneaky Bob from the outside lane. It's a little bit of a rugged drift, but he does make it through. And unfortunately, Arlo overdrifts. Here comes Isley in second place. So right now, Sneaky Bob has 2 more points, and he needs this. He has 4 points. I think that's 4 points behind the leader right now, and Sneaky Bob will cross in first place. Second place goes to Isley, and third is Strike.
Sneaky Bob begins with some great speed from the outside lane, and he starts to drift, just enough to carry on. Meanwhile, Arlo is left pounding his front bumper against the wall. Here is a wonderful train view, and you see Isley catching up to Sneaky Bob, but Sneaky Bob stayed resilient, especially down the scrambler. He could not afford to give up a single place, and ladies and gentlemen, we have, after 8 rounds of racing, a 3-way tie.
Look at that. Race fans, can you believe it? 8 rounds of racing, and now these guys will have to settle it in a triple sudden death.
Who do you think's going to win, Richard?
Well, right now the fans are winning. Why don't you give the details of the scoring, Aaron?
You bet. It will be 3 races. A first place is 3, then 2, then 1. A DNF is 0. There won't be any extra train bonus points, and the trucks will occupy one of these 3 lanes. Here they go.
All right, and as you can see, Isley is on the outside lane, or that would be the catbird seat. First to drift. He spins around. He's still cruising along, and it looks like we've got Sneaky Bob on the Joker lane, and he's ahead, but here he comes. Oh boy, he is not going to keep up with Isley, who is first around the Big U and now onto the scrambler. Oh no, Isley is stuck, and Sneaky Bob's going to sneak by for first. Oh my goodness, Strike takes second.
After the first sudden death race, Sneaky Bob holds the lead with 3 points. Strike is on the outside. He will be taking the drift lane.
That's right, it's now Strike's opportunity to capitalize on a good drift. Oh my goodness, and just like that, Strike has flipped over right on that little jump. Look at Isley just motor it around the corner, and now he's well ahead on the Joker lane. If Sneaky Bob were not to finish, Isley, taking a first place, would move up into a tie with him. He comes around the Big U. Okay, I think I just saw Sneaky Bob in the background, and Isley gets 3 points for his first place. Okay, here comes Bob. Second place finish.
So after the second sudden death race, it is Sneaky Bob in the lead with 5. Isley is 2 behind, and Strike is 3 behind.
It is Sneaky Bob's turn to occupy the drift lane. There we go. We're off already, and Sneaky Bob has a lead. It's going to be very critical that he drifts and not DNFs. He comes through looking quite good. Wow, that was a great drift. We have not seen that in a while. As he manages to hold it together, he's got a sizable lead, ladies and gentlemen. If he can finish this race, and boy, here comes Isley, he will be the Baja Bison champion, and he
Look at that. Congratulations. Isley takes second place in this race, and Strike was unable to finish. And so, ladies and gentlemen, after all of the racing and the sudden death, The bronze medal winner is Strike from the UK. Silver goes to Isley from Kansas, and Sneaky Bob from Michigan takes the gold.
Race fans, we want to thank you for being a part of this wonderful Baja Bouncer Invitational. All these trucks are so beautiful, well-crafted design, and a lot of exciting action on Shavano Mountain Raceway thanks to their skills. We look forward to seeing you next time, and we will be featuring Baja Bisons. Here at Gravity Throttle Racing, we simply ask you,
Are you tracking?